3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Hope you're all having a great start to your week. I've got a review here for this movie called Dream Horse, which I will be honest, I had no idea what this movie was about, but I got sent a screener for it, so I went, yeah, sure, let's see what this is about. But yeah, I really went into this movie cold, hadn't seen a trailer. I was like, oh, I'm assuming it's about, a horse, so that gives me some context. But the movie is directed by Eros Lin. If you're not familiar with that name, you probably should be. He's directed several episodes of Doctor Who from 05 to 06 and in 08. He directed several episodes of Torchwood, which I love Torchwood. It's funny. I haven't even gotten through the Eccleston run on Doctor Who. I just need to sit down and watch it. Haven't gotten through it yet, but yeah, he did directed some episodes of Torchwood, directed some episodes of Sherlock, and has directed episodes of his Dark Materials, which, if you haven't watched it, highly recommend you do. Damn good show. And then the writer Neil McKay has really done nothing really of note, just kind of a bunch of random stuff throughout the years. This, of course, stars Toni Collette, who plays Jan, Toni Collette, I really don't think we talk enough about how amazing of an actress she is. I just love her so much, whether it's, in something like Hereditary or something like I'm Thinking of Ending Things, or even something like Tammy, where she's one of the few good things about that terrible fucking movie. I don't think enough people have seen The Way, Way Back. You should definitely watch The Way, Way Back if you have not seen that. But she's absolutely incredible. Damian Lewis, we know him from several things. I think the thing that most people are familiar with him about right now is Billions, which I have watched some of Billions. Billions is a pretty badass show. You probably also know him as playing Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was in Romeo and Juliet in 2013, Your Highness. He's been around the block. And Owen Teale, who plays Jan's husband, he has one of those faces where I go, I know I've seen you and stuff. And yet I can't think of anything. Like, I'm going through his filmography and nothing is jumping out to me. Oh, he was in Game of Thrones. He was Alistair Thorne. So there you go. That makes sense. But this movie, really simple plot. So this movie is about this small town, and I want to say they're definitely in the UK. So Jan is really struggling, her and her husband. She works at this kind of like the CVS type store, and basically goes ahead and is able to convince her neighbors in this town to go ahead and ship in their very meager earnings to go ahead and help raise this horse. That she really just gets this inspiration because Howard walks in, Damian Lewis's character, and he is this former, this is very not well off, but he runs in higher end circles. And so she goes ahead and kind of talks to him and basically gets inspired to go ahead and buy a racehorse, and goes ahead and is really convincing the family her neighbors that, hey, this horse could potentially be something. And one thing that I really do appreciate about this movie is that, unlike something like Secretariat, the Disney film, not the BoJack Horseman version, but what I appreciate about this movie is that you really feel like Jan is doing the work. Her and Brian are clearly just in a headspace where they've gotten comfortable with each other, but not even comfortable. Brian is just kind of like, hey, wife, I love you, but I'm going to be just very quiet and read my paper and not really tell you that I love you. Like, he's gone through his own shit that I won't really get into here, because I do want to leave some of this to be, for you to discover for yourself. But it's really interesting because it's very grassroots as far as how she goes ahead and convinces her neighbors. She does the classic, oh, hey, meeting about, it's more articulate than this, but, meeting about buying horse tonight at 8:00. She's handing out flyers about this shit to everyone in town. She really is doing everything she can to go ahead and really inspire people to go ahead and take this chance. And the movie, and I mean this respectfully, it is tropey. There's even that point where she throws the meeting and no one's shown up and everyone's kind of standing around, or she's standing around in this room, and then, one person shows up, and then another person shows up, and, then all of a sudden there's enough people there to warrant the meeting existing. Like, it's got those cliches, and maybe it's because we're slowly coming out of COVID. Maybe I'm just getting more emotional in my old years, but I will say the thing that really caught me off guard about this was this fucking horse. This horse really just had me caring. There's a point where the horse, of course, gets hurt, and I sent my partner a snap, and I was sitting there going, oh my god, this horse is in trouble. I mean, obviously, am I going out on a limb or spoiling anything by saying this horse is going to be fucking fine? No, because the horse is going to be fine. There's no curveball in that sense. But and it's so funny. I actually had this discussion with my roommate the other day about wrestling. Stick with me here. He was making this distinction, or making this point that this match for AEW that we were watching, that it wasn't a good match because the ending was predictable. And that is something that, 6 years into doing the podcast here, that I really wish that people kind of get out of that mindset. Just because something's predictable doesn't mean it's bad. You don't always have to have a twist for the sake of having a twist. Sometimes it really is, as cliche as it is, about the journey. And the journey in this film, I really appreciated. And I went, wow. There's this town drunk played by Carl Johnson, Kirby, who, of course, he's always drinking, and he's doing crazy stuff like walking around with no pants, doing stuff like that. But, he does find meaning in his life by going ahead and, drinking less, by putting money away to go ahead and put towards Dream Alliance is the name of the horse that they land on. And the reason behind that, I actually went, oh, okay, this is actually working. But you get to see the horse from its infancy. There's even the point where Jan is going ahead and feeding Dream Alliance out of a bottle, which I thought was fucking adorable and didn't make me cry at all. There are just some points later on as the film gets going that I really went, okay, this really works for me. There is a scene between Damian Lewis, his Howard, and Joanna Page, who plays his wife Angela. And how do I put this? There is this point where you find out something about Howard, as far as how, while he knows a lot of elite people, where he kind of fell out of favor, and I'll kind of leave it at that. And there's this point where him and Angela have this pretty intense discussion. It's very much one of those conversations you would have with a partner. And she basically lays out that, if this thing happens again, there's no way we can survive it. And I really went, okay, I really appreciate how this is really kind of breaking down and how tense this scene is. There's a scene where Jan damn near castrates Brian and just tells him that he doesn't have any fight anymore, and why can't he fight like Dream Alliance does. And that was something, as a dude, I went, god damn, that's harsh. But he has a scene, and I'll be real, everyone, Owen Teal, the one scene, take away anything else if you want, but there's a scene where he talks about Dream Alliance being a fighter and how she needs to trust Dream Alliance. And I just went, son of a bitch, that made me cry. And I'm sitting here in my office chair watching this on my computer, and I'm cheering for this fucking horse. Like, I was really going, go Dream Alliance, go. Again, is there any doubt that the horse will be fine in the end? Like this, come on, give me a fucking break. But the way that this whole film is really staged, even the very last race that Dream Alliance runs, her day job, at the, kind of CVS type store, they even set up TVs in the store so that the employees can watch the race. And so there are people in the town who stop in to watch the race along with everybody. And I just went, wow, okay, that is really cool. And there's a scene, I think I already mentioned it, but there's this point where Dream Alliance gets hurt, and so they go ahead and break down how intense this is, because when Dream Alliance gets hurt, they go ahead, the people who run his the stables where they keep him, if the surgery doesn't go well, they're out 120,000 pounds, like flat out, just out 120,000 pounds, which roughly translates to about 169,000 American, which, holy fucking crap, that would have, like, I don't know if I would have gambled on a horse like that. But the movie does a great job of letting you know that these stakes are incredibly high. And for a woman who's, grassrooted this and gotten everyone inspired around her to chip in for this horse, then you have the whole discussion of, well, this isn't just your money, this is our money. So, who are you to go ahead and make this decision for us? And that whole scene is so beautifully done as far as tension. I just went, wow. And again, her husband has this moment where he snaps on everyone and yells, everyone be quiet and listen to Jan. And I don't want to tell y'all where that pops in, but when it does pop in, I went, oh shit, okay, he's really commanding the room. He's fighting like Jan was accusing him of not being able to do anymore. And really, all right, I'm not going to actually talk about the last race because I'm going to cry if I talk about it. Damn it. Anyways, all right, we're going to get to the end of this, but it's one of those movies that I'll end up buying it. I know you can rent it. I think you can buy it right now, but it's one of those things that I went, wow, I really appreciate the hell out of how this movie goes ahead and, pardon me, God, why? See, this horse is making me cry again. I haven't even seen the movie in like a month, but this movie is so well done. And again, it really just points to why Toni Collette is Toni Collette. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, this is something I think will make people feel inspired. It's one of those feel-good movies that, as we come out of COVID, that we just really need right now. It's one of those things that you can watch. There is some tension, some really well done tension. The dialogue here, I think, is genuinely fantastic. There is a scene, and the last thing I'll say about it, there's a scene with Jan and her parents, and you think they're pieces of shit, and they kind of are. But where the film kind of does a 180 with them near the end, I went, wow, that is incredibly powerful. And again, it really felt like Neil McKay went out of his way to go, yeah, I'm going to make sure this just hits on all cylinders. And for this being a PG film, this could have really gotten hokey and campy really easily, and it never really does. It's definitely cheesy at points, but you just find yourself rooting for this community. This will be a great companion piece with this movie called Fisherman's Friends, which, if you haven't heard of that, highly recommend you look up the trailer. But my God, what a genuine surprise. This might end up on my top 10 list for the year. This is a rated PG, so you can watch this. You could watch this, I think, with your slightly older kids, maybe 12 and up, and go, yeah, I have fun with this. Especially if you're a farmer or someone who wants to get into, or likes horses, wants to get into horseback riding or anything like that. I would say this is something I think you'll be actually interested in, which, again, when I got the screener, I really didn't know what I was getting. So I'm going to give, what do I want to give this? I'm gonna give you know what? Actually, I wept. So you know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna give this a fan-fucking-tastic. Yeah, you can buy this. You can buy it right now for oh, so it's one of those like in theater home releases right now. So it's $25 to rent, or to buy. Pardon me, it's $20 to rent. You might as well just buy it. And honestly, it's worth $25. I might just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray or 4K so I can get a actual physical copy because I'm that person. I like physical media. But yeah, this is well worth something that you should watch. And again, it's something I think most people will really enjoy. Yeah, go figure. Did not expect this to be as great as it was, but here we are. But Dream Horse, everyone, have you seen it? What did you think of it? Let us know in the comments. You can go ahead and like our pages on Facebook at The Real Pineapple, as well as Real Pineapple Games. I'm going to be hopping on Twitch at some point. I don't know when, but I will let you all know when I do. Go ahead and like the page so you can stay up to date on that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple and Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher and iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and TuneUp, to name some spots, at The Real Pineapple. And don't forget to follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. And you can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. We're going to have reviews up this week for most of the Fast and Furious films leading up to Furious 7, which I'm really excited to sit down and review some of those. Going to have some thoughts as well on Fast 9, Fast and Furious 9. We'll have a review up for that here soon as well. Finally going to get a review done here for the first season 1 and season 2 of Harley Quinn coming up here. I'm really excited to sit down and talk about that. As well as Black Widow here soon. That's going to be out in a couple weeks, as well as Luca, the new Disney Pixar movie. So I'll have reviews up for all of those here soon. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Take care of each other. Wear a mask. Get your COVID shot. For fuck's sake, please go get your COVID shot. And thank you again for listening, and we'll talk to you soon.